Hey guys, SpiderBite here, and we've got some Halo 4 gameplay we're going to talk about. But I have a couple of guests with me. The first is Naked Eli, or Naked Halo, over on YouTube, and a guy that you might know if you're big on the Halo MLG scene, Elamite, who is one of the top MLG players in from Halo 2, 3, and Reach. So why don't you guys say hello and maybe tell us a little bit about yourselves?
What's up? This is Naked Eli. I'm here with Elamite. We are doing a commentary over this Halo 4 gameplay for you. I follow all the Halo 4 news. My channel is mostly high-level gameplay, showing casual players how to get into the more competitive, high-level scene. And Elamite, you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, Elamite here, top level MLG player. Had the opportunity to come out to E3 and play some Halo 4, so we figured why not, you know, bring me on to say a couple things about the gameplay, considering it's my screen.
Did you get to play a lot of games here? And this was actually during E3, and it was at a Halo 4 party.
Yeah, that's correct. I played for maybe 4 or 5 hours over the course of E3 of Halo 4, which is pretty nice and probably one of the most out of anyone that was there.
All right, well let's start taking a look at the gameplay then. I think you actually get stuck with the default loadout. I think you were going for the battle rifle loadout here and switching up the controls.
Yeah, I think it was probably a setting that they had on just for this event, so that rotating people out on the game, it switched back to default each time. So at the beginning of this game, I just forgot to switch my loadouts and controller settings.
So the two things we noticed right away, I mean, number one, and this is a big change with Halo 4, is that you always have sprints. Number two, that Promethean vision looks fantastic.
Promethean vision is amazing. It's one of the most powerful individual things I've ever even seen in any of the Halos. Like, if I could have rockets or Promethean vision, I would take Promethean vision.
The range, it seems to go across the entire room, all the way down the corridor. So in your local vicinity, you have perfect information about everything around you, essentially.
Exactly. I feel like the only thing that can cancel out Promethean vision is Promethean vision. So it's probably the most overpowered
But
loadout right now.
343 did announce that there were going to be other counters. We know one alternative is the hologram, because that will still show up on your Promethean vision as a person, but you can probably tell if it's running in a straight line that it's not real, it's specific situations. So I'm interested if they're going to have an actual hard counter to it where you can maybe be invisible.
So now you get the battle rifle.
Yeah, battle rifle, a lot more fun. I thought it was going to be, well, what I did think that 343 did a really good job on was balancing the battle rifle to the carbine to the DMR from the brief time that I played it. So it is cool to see like the 3-round burst and the DMR both be fairly equally powered.
What do you think about the gameplay so far, or at least the 4 to 5 hours that you had with Halo 4?
I thought it was a lot of fun. Even running around right now, this Promethean vision, sloppy shots, but considering, I don't know if everyone knows, we were standing up, we're playing on, 40-inch, somewhat laggy monitors. Wasn't exactly set up for the most competitive play of it.
Okay, so here, this is actually cool. I really like this, what you're doing here. I mean, you're using your Promethean vision. Your shields were obviously down, and you used it pretty effectively to avoid this guy until they came back up. And then you knock him, or actually, he jumped back and fell off the platform.
Yeah, that guy, I don't know what that guy was doing. I would love to know who it was, actually, but he got embarrassed.
I thought, again, you talk about this Promethean vision. I really thought that was a good application of it right there.
Yeah, like, you can completely... like, one thing I had heard was the whole thing about Halo 4 is they wanted to speed it up, make it a faster-paced game, and that's great, but with Promethean Vision, the game can be slowed down to, enormous amount, like, levels.
Right.
When you run around a corner, instead of running around a corner and potentially dying, you stop right before the corner, see two guys, and turn around and you hightail it out of it.
How far does that Promethean vision extend to? I mean, I don't know how the size of the maps, but can you see right across the map?
I know it does go pretty far. I feel like the only restriction to it right now is the time limit. The little circle on the bottom left of the screen above radar that refills, and once it goes from red to blue, then you can use it again, and you can use it until it runs out and has to recharge. Like, this is a perfect example right now where I'm watching these two guys, and I get to make, you know, whatever decision you make, you want to have the most information possible. And Promethean Vision gives you all the information you possibly want, because you can actually even see what kind of weapons that they have when you're using it.
Why do you think they actually brought Sprint in? I know there's one thing I read that about Reach was that everybody playing Reach, or the majority of people playing Reach, actually use Sprint.
Yeah. I think that's why they did it, was because people felt that Sprint was such an advantage that they picked that over anything else. They always wanted to be able to move quickly around the map, escape bad situations, and get to places quickly to support their teammates. I think the statistic was that 90% of Reach players use Sprint over other abilities. So they figured, why not just give everyone Sprint, and then they can play with the other toys in the sandbox?
Yeah. Well, the interesting thing is how there's the slowdown when you're being shot when you try to use Sprint. So that's going to completely change everything and make all the other abilities much more prevalent in the game.
Now, right here, you actually get Ordnance.
Yeah, so I get Ordnance, and I bring down the, what is that called again?
Sticky Detonator.
Sticky Detonator.
Yeah. You know, I really wanted to like try out all the new weapons and get a couple kills. So right now I'm just trying to figure out how to shoot it, how to use it. And, you know, over the course I used it like 3 or 4 games, you know, for only, you know, multiple second periods at a time.
Right.
But I do not like it.
Well, and these aren't weapons that you can really use normally to get used to anyway, right? They're actually dropped on the Ordnance, so the only way you get access to them and get used to them is by using them in Ordnance, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I was actually noticing from my playtest that there were very few weapons on the map, and most of the weapons you got were either from your loadout or from the Ordnance. I saw some Needlers on the ground, I saw a Carbine on Haven, but I'm not sure, that might have just been a dead body. So what if it's the case that there are no weapons on the maps? Do you think there should be at least some weapons to pick up? You think you should rely on picking up, you know, dead teammates or enemies' weapons and these Ordnance drops?
The difference between Ordnance drops and having weapons on the map I feel like a major part of Halo is map control. And part of the map control comes around to where the power weapons are spawning. So Ordnance drops completely change that. But the same way with Halo 3 and Halo Reach, the Forge system allows you to go into and completely change everything. Like, even with Halo 4, I feel like you could play 1,000 different versions of Halo 4 when it comes out. So it's going to be really interesting to see what MLG decides to do with it, whether or not they want to use Ordnance drops or create more power positions on the map. But, you know, from my personal perspective, a map like this, with these balconies and railings and steps going, you know, taking you long routes to get just a slightly higher level, I'm not a fan of stuff like that at all.
But 343 said they designed Haven and Adrift to both be competitive maps. And so what can they do? What is it that you're looking for in a competitive arena space? Just less travel time, more shooting, essentially?
Yeah, I like where awareness is a huge factor. You know, always... My favorite maps, I feel like, that have ever come out for Halo are when you're in one point on the map, you can almost help your teammate out no matter where they are, assuming you position yourself accordingly within, like, let's say, 5 to 10 foot radius. You know, whether or not you run into a corner and you can jump and see across the map, or like slightly higher map position. Like this room right now that we're looking at is pretty interesting. It's got a big middle part, like a map slightly bigger than just the middle part of this, I would be a fan of. But the outside lifts with the railings and like, you know, staircases that go around, that's the kind of stuff I don't like.
Do you think we really need Halo 4 to be that game? I mean, competitive gameplay and tournaments have sort of gone back to Halo 3. I mean, you haven't seen a lot of Halo Reach, but do you see Halo 4 being very, very important to bring that that competitiveness back?
Yeah, Halo 4 is either going to make or break the game right now. Halo Reach, like, as MLG, this is the first event MLG has not even had Halo as a game at one of the events, and that breaks, like, what is it, 8, 9 years now?
Almost a decade.
So, yeah, almost 10 years of Halo at events. This was the first time it was not there, and a huge part of it to blame is Reach. It just doesn't have the fan base. People just don't like it as much as the other games.
Right.
So Halo 4 especially with all these new things, but 343 is doing with like these shows and like the live action sequences, everything they're doing is really all going to come down to, I feel like, the competitive aspect of Halo 4.
Do you think they're close? Based on your 4 to 5 hours with Halo 4, do you think they are close?
I think they're definitely close. I felt like Reach was somewhat of a mix between Call of Duty and Halo, and I feel like Halo 4 is even more so like that, but I feel like they did a better job of some of the pluses of Call of Duty that Halo people might still like, rather than Reach, which is more of Call of Duty stuff that Halo people are like, this is why I don't play Call of Duty.
Right.
So do you think that Halo 4 will, let's say it has the same ranking system as Reach, do you think that is enough, is changing the core game mechanics to bring in these casual competitive audiences? Or do you think that Halo 4 really needs a ranking system that will differentiate the more skilled players in playlists from the less skilled players, and that'll actually keep people's attention more than just playlists with social aspects to it?
I feel like almost 99% or 100% of Halo players are just really competitive people, and that's competitive in everything.
Like you play the game to win, right?
Yeah,
it's like first to 50 kills. I want to be the first team to 50 kills.
Yeah, like Ricky Bobby style. If you're not first, you're last. If I didn't win this tournament, then I might as well just have gone last, because it's just nothing's the same especially once you actually start winning and experiencing that success.
You haven't used a DMR during this gameplay though, right?
During this one, no, it doesn't look like I do, but I did use it in a couple of the other games.
And the DMR and the Carbine were on par with the BR, and possibly even better, given how fast they shoot and how accurate they are.
BR would probably still be my #1 choice right now. I don't know if it's just because I'm a Halo 2 fan or what, or Halo 2 Halo 3 fan, but the DMR was pretty powerful as well. I felt like it was a pretty good balance between the weapons. As of right now.
I absolutely love that gameplay. They still have a lot of time. I mean, they're actually showing some pretty decent gameplay here. I mean, where do you think they are with the multiplayer right now?
I know.
They're still definitely doing closed beta testing, as far as I'm aware. This was just the little nugget that they wanted to show to the public of the multiplayer, showing that they know what they're doing with the franchise. They gave us just a sliver of campaign to get us excited about Chief again without giving too many spoilers. And they want to show that they're prepared to take the Halo franchise in a positive direction for both the competitive, casual communities, however you want to define players in all their subgroups. They're hoping, I'm hoping, Elamite's hoping, we're all hoping that Halo 4 is going to, give everyone what they want and bring Halo back to the top of FPS and console gaming.
All right, guys, thanks for watching. That was Halo 4 Infinity Slayer on Adrift. With gameplay from Elamite, and just wanted to thank you guys, both Elamite and Naked Eli. Make sure you go check out Naked Eli over on youtube.com/Naked Halo, and that's a 3, not an E in Naked Halo. Is that correct?
That is correct. Thank you very much, Spider-Bite.
And also Elamite, thanks a lot, man. That was an awesome gameplay. I'm looking forward to seeing more from you, man.
Thanks. You're welcome. Thanks for having me.